All right, so we're live. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started.
Right on.
All right, thank you for participating in this indoor navigation study. The purpose of this study is to aggregate and collect data on the cognitive methods and ideas that firefighters use to navigate indoor environments compared to those of civilians. So this interview will be recorded via audio or video. Please know that you may stop the interview at any time. If you have any questions, please let me know. All right. So today I will be asking you questions about your past experiences as a firefighter. Our focus is on your experience navigating as a firefighter slash first responder. Any questions so far before I begin the questions?
No, I'm good.
Okay. So do you have more than one current residence? And if so, how many?
No, I have one residence, and it's been the same one for like 22 years.
2 years. Okay. Perfect. So you have not moved at all from
No,
that residence?
no.
Okay, perfect. Are you currently a firefighter?
Yes.
Alrighty, and approximately how many years were you or have you been a firefighter?
This is my third year working as a firefighter, going on
Okay,
to my third year.
perfect. Describe how you were trained to think and navigate through a building as a first responder.
Uh, the way they trained us in the academies is they kind of just stick you into this Connex box that we call a confidence trailer. And basically, they black out your mask so you can't see anything out of it, and it's pitch black inside that trailer. And they basically teach you to do left-handed or right-handed searches, which means if you're going to do a right-handed search, your right hand is going to stay on the wall the entire duration of the search, and that allows you to do a full circle or inside the the house or the space you're in. That way you don't get lost and become trapped inside that residence as well. So as long as you stay with your right hand or your left hand on the wall, you won't get lost because you'll just make a constant circle around the whole house. And then
Okay.
once you complete your circle, then you'll make your way out the door you came in from. So as long as you don't leave that wall, you'll be fine.
Okay, perfect. Describe step by step how you were trained for indoor navigation for rescue missions.
For rescue missions, if it's a house that's on fire, you're basically going to start from the room or compartment closest to the fire. That way, because the closer you are to the fire, the more likely that they're not going to have a chance to survive. So you want to start from the most dangerous spot and work your way out. So there's two types of searches that we do. We do a primary search and then a secondary search. So during your primary search is when you're starting closest to the fire and you're working your way out and you're looking for any trapped victims. And once you complete your primary search and you don't find anybody, then a second team comes in, which is your secondary search, and it's a completely different crew. And the secondary search is done once you complete a knockdown or you confine that fire to a specific spot so the fire's not spreading. That way you're able to conduct a more thorough search, making sure that the primary search didn't, miss a victim or, found everybody that was inside that house. So as long as you complete those two searches, it's been an effective way, because you have two different crews. So you have two different sets of eyes essentially checking the residency.
Okay, perfect. How did you navigate your way around a building during an emergency?
See, it's always different every fire, because sometimes it depends on how heavy the smoke is inside a fire. So if it's heavy smoke, that's where you really can't see anything, and you're, keeping your right-handed or left-handed searches. But if it's not that heavy smoke and you have someone doing what we call ventilation, if you have someone conducting a ventilation, it really clears up the environment inside the house, so it allows us to see better inside. But if the conditions aren't bad, you're able to see, pretty clear what the layout of the house is. So if it's like thick, heavy smoke, we usually carry what we call a thermal imaging camera, or a TIC, which allows us to see heat inside smoke. So it kind of punches through the smoke a little bit, and you can kind of see like where the fire is, or if you see, it allows us to see if there's any like bodies laying on the floor, you'll be able to see like their image in that camera. So there's just multiple endless ways to be able to navigate, but the two ones would be your left-handed or right-handed searches.
Perfect. Describe how you may navigate an unfamiliar room or location inside a building when you are not on a rescue mission, such as a mall or airport.
If it's a mall or an airport, that'd be a tough one. Just because I haven't been in a situation where it's a building that big, but I know if we were to get called on one of those, it'd be broken up into sections, or what we call divisions. So each division would get assigned a specific spot of that commercial area. So we'll use landmarks like your exit signs, or like an airport, it'd be like the name of the airline company. That would be like our division. And then we'll have someone with like the pre-plan of the building, so it kind of gives us a layout of what we're looking for. But to be honest, I just haven't been in that situation where I have to conduct a search or navigate my way through an area that large yet. It's always been like, residential areas.
Perfect. So how would you navigate those areas if you were not on a rescue mission? Say just going as a civilian.
Going into as a civilian?
Yeah, like say you would go into a large space like a mall or airport, but not on a rescue mission, just, you on your own, not on call or anything.
I would just follow the signs, like the directional signs that they have, or use their navigatory signs that they have, a little layout of the area.
Right.
I'd use those.
Okay, that's perfect. And describe any tools or methods you currently use to navigate a building during a rescue mission.
I use the thermal imaging camera. That's a big one. We could also use the fire hose to help navigate. If there's already been a crew in before us, we can use the hose to kind of take us to where they ended their search, and then we'll continue on from there. And then again, the left-handed or right-handed searches is a real good method too. But really, those would be the main ones, the main ways we use to navigate.
Okay, perfect. And how have these tools and methods proved effective on those missions?
The thermal imaging camera is really effective just because it allows us to see heat. Because like I said, if we're inside a structure that has heavy smoke and you can't see through it, that camera allows us to see heat signatures, which allows us to see any sort of, like, if there's a body on the floor, body somewhere, we'd be able to see their outline and, essentially get that victim out of the house, just because it allows us to see them, and it reduces the time that we're actually searching, So that camera is really, really effective.
Okay, perfect. What methods in indoor navigation would you consider the most efficient, and what makes them more efficient in your opinion?
Hmm. You know, it just depends. It depends on the situation. Because there's times where you don't even need uh, like to stick on the wall. Like there's times where you can see clearly, like you know, you can see clearly. You could just walk straight to where the scene of the fire is and do your searches that way pretty quick and get out. So, I mean, I can't really specify which method's the best one, just because it all depends on the situation.
Mm,
Um, but you know that thermal imaging camera would probably be the best one, just because you know it allows us to see.
right. Okay. Is there another method or technology that you wish was applied to first responder rescue missions?
If we're talking about technology that my department doesn't have, um, then there is one technology that I know fire departments in Europe use. And basically, that technology is whenever we go inside, you know, any sort of fire, I apologize for that phone ringing. If we go inside any sort of fire, we always have a face piece on that allows us to breathe air. And I know fire departments in Europe um, have this technology where that face piece has like a digital camera on it inside. It's like a HUD, and it has that thermal imaging camera built in it. That way they don't have uh, you know to it allows them to free up one hand from holding that camera, so now they can have tools or you know some other piece of equipment that they can use to help you know either put out the fire or get that victim out. So that face piece, it's already incorporated with a thermal imaging camera, and it has all sorts of like it allows them to kind of like see where previous firefighters have walked through in that building. Like it shows like a little like I believe it's like a blue line or like blue dotted line or somewhere, and it kind of allows them to see where previous members have been in, so they kind of know if that area has been searched or not searched. Um, so I think that would be sort of a cool thing that you know every department should have, but it all be based off of how much you know it would cost. So my department doesn't have it, but I know there's technology out there like that.
Okay, perfect. Do you ever get lost or waste time due to not being able to navigate efficiently in an indoor environment?
No, I haven't been lost yet, just because you know they train you so good on you know making sure that you always have either your left hand or your right hand on that wall. So as long as you know you don't move your hand off of it, you won't get lost. And then if you were to get lost in a situation like that, we have there's ways we describe our locations. So like for a residential house, the side facing the street or the address side, we call that the alpha corner. And then
Okay.
if you make a clockwise circle, so you have your alpha corner, which is the side facing the street, and then the next corner would be your Bravo, and then the back wall would be your Charlie, and then that last wall would be your Delta. So if you're going into a search, you're going to tell your company officer that I'm going to do a left-handed search. Um, so if I'm doing a left-handed search, then I'm going to make my clockwise circle. So if I get lost inside that house, I kind of know where I'm at just based off of how we lay out the building. So if I've made it maybe 3/4 of the way through the house, I'm going to tell them, hey, I'll call out my mayday. That way they know that there's a situation happening. I'll let them know where I'm at, which in that case, I'd be like, this is the primary crew searching. Um, I've lost, I become disoriented. I've lost my way through this house. My last known location was the Bravo Charlie corner. That way other firefighters know they have already an area of where I was last located. So now instead of them having to go do that complete search, they know what area I'm at, and it's easier for them to go to that area and, you know, be able to find who's the one that become disoriented and help them out. But I have not been in a situation yet where I've gotten lost inside a structure.
Okay.
And then you can also use the fire hose to navigate your way out just by the way, like you'd be able to feel the couplings, which is the way we connect our fire hose. It's two pieces of brass that, you know, connects the hoses. That way we can extend. We call it the male end and the female end. The male end's the end that has all the threads, and the female end is the one that has that you thread it onto. So the female end always leads you out to the fire engine. So for us, basically your exit. So as long as you can follow the female end out, you'll always end up outside the structure. So you can use the fire hose that way to navigate your way out of the building if you become lost.
Interesting. Would you consider any methods that are like old or not relevant anymore that you've been taught?
No, everything I've been taught, it's, you know, pretty efficient stuff that they show us. So
okay, that's great. Can you describe a situation in which you directly or indirectly attributed to poor indoor navigation methods?
No, I mean, pretty much everyone that I've worked with have been pretty solid guys that, you know, they all know what they're doing. So I mean, it's not very often that we get lost or, you know, do some sort of poor navigation methods.
Okay, perfect. Describe any tools or methods you use to navigate in your life, not on a rescue mission or on duty.
I use my phone a lot for navigation, like Google Maps or my any sort of like GPS. I use an app called Strava also, and Strava allows me to kind of navigate. It's like a GPS, so it basically follows like where I've been, and it shows like a line basically on a map that shows where you've been and how long it took you and the miles and stuff like that. But my phone would probably be my number one thing.
Okay. And is Strava, did you find that out through, you know, other firefighters, or is this just something you came across?
I got that app from people in our helitack crew. They use it a lot on like their hikes, just because it allows them to kind of track where they went.
Mm-hmm.
So that's more for like our wildland aspect on fires, basically like mountains. Your kind of helps you navigate that way. That way, in case you do get lost, you have a map that shows you where you've been, and you can kind of guide your way back. But it's not often you'll get lost out there.
Okay. Perfect. Well, thank you for your time. And do you have any questions for me?
No, you know, thank you. I'm good.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, Gio. That's it, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, no problem.
All right. And if you need to copy this link, just let me know and I'll send it over.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thanks again, man. See ya.
See ya.